Good morning, all of you. In this class, we are going to discuss about the one more device, that is the unijunction transistor. It is also three-terminal device. That's why we are calling as a transistor. So why we are going to study this device? By means of this device, you can generate a pulses, gate pulses to the SCI, because this device has a negative resistance region. Negative resistance region that we are going to see later. This is the N-type substrate, nothing but a base material on which only the P-type material is added here. The P-type material is diffused on the N-type material. It is lightly doped, material, whereas P-type material is heavily doped material. Heavily doped material. Now, here the three terminals are taken. Two terminals are taken from the base material, that is B1, B2, and one more terminal is taken from the P-type material, that is the emitter. The junction is simply like a diode. Simply like a diode. Now, this is the structure of the UJT. Now we are going to represent in the equivalent circuit. If you see this is the equivalent circuit of the UJT. RB1, RB2, the junction is represented as a diode. The junction is represented as a diode. This is the external voltage that is between the emitter and the base 2. This is also VBB, also the external voltage that is between the B1 and B2. That is B1 and B2. Now, what is RB1 means? It is the internal resistance between this junction to the emitter to the B1. Emitter to the B1. The same manner, there is some internal resistance between the emitter to the B2. That is nothing but a RB2. Nothing but the junction is dividing the total base into the two resistance regions. One is RB1, another one is the RB2. RB1 is greater than the RB2 because the emitter terminal is always near to the base 2 terminal. That's why this region is more, upper region is more, so that the resistance RB1 is more and compared to the RB2. Now this is the equivalent circuit of the UJT. The UJT we can represent as two resistors diode. This point is nothing but a eta point. P is nothing but a eta point. So when the switch is off, if you apply the voltage across the B1 and B2, now the current is flowing only this resistance. Now we are trying to find out what is the potential of the eta point with respect to the negative terminal. To find that one here, this current equal to the current passing in this between the B1 and B2 if the emitter is the voltage is 0 or current is 0. That we can write it as a here I equal to VBB by RB1 plus RB2. Now we want the resistance voltage of the potential P. So V potential of the eta point, that is equal to this current into this resistance. If we rearrange this equation, RB2 by RB1 plus RB2 into VBB. This is nothing but a intrinsic standoff ratio of a UJT that we're representing as eta. Now here eta equal to, here I am writing eta equal to RB2 by RB1 plus RB2. So the eta voltage, eta point voltage, that we can write it as a, this is equal to, sorry, this peak eta point voltage we can write it as a, this into VB. This is the relation between the potential of this point. So why we are calculating this potential means, because to on this device, what we are doing is that if the emitter voltage we are applying, whenever we are applying the emitter voltage, as long as if we close the switch, if we apply the emitter voltage, this diode is forward biased only when this voltage is more than this eta point voltage. Otherwise, this diode is off. This diode is off. Almost of this resistance is very high. Very less amount of current is passing through the device, so it is in a off state. Now, as long as this voltage is less than this voltage, the diode is reverse bias, so very less amount of the leakage current is passing through the emitter. So how this emitter is passing this current means source, emitter, RB2 as well as return to the source. RB2 return to the source. Now, if we are increasing this voltage more than this one, less amount of current is passing here. If this voltage is less than this one, that is due to the minority carriers. That current also the negative current. That current also the negative current. See here we have taken the positive direction. Negative current is in this manner the current will be passed. Nothing but due to the minority carriers, because the diode is reverse bias. Now come to the point. If this voltage is more than this voltage, what happens? Now the diode is forward bias. Once the diode is forward bias, the source is injecting a current into the lower base region. Already we said that this base area is lightly doped. It is injecting a more charge carriers. Some charge carriers will be combining with the holes. Here it is injecting a holes. So this p-type injecting a more charge carriers p. Some charge carriers will be combined with the electrons in the n-type material because it is a lightly doped. So more number of, in this region, more number of holes will be accumulated. Nothing but a more number of charge carriers are there. When more number of charge carriers are accumulated in this region, the base resistance will be decreases. This resistance will be decreases. Because here the more number of charge carriers. So one more thing here is that here the potential of the point V also will be decreases. Whenever it is decreasing, the potential of the V is depending upon the RB2. See, you have seen this one, this is decreasing. So the potential of the V also will be decreasing. Once the potential of the V is decreasing, see here, I am writing the expression here. Emitter current IE equal to VE minus this voltage VE divided by RE. This voltage is highly depending upon the eta point voltage, because if you neglect this diode, then this voltage is equal to this voltage, eta point voltage. So if the eta point voltage is decreasing, because it is decreasing due to the decreasing of this resistance, that is due to the more number of charge carriers are injected into the inner base region. So it is decreasing, this resistance is fixed, it is also fixed. So the emitter current is more. Nothing but more number of charge carriers, further increasing the more number of charge carriers will be injected. Again, This RB2 will be decreases. Once the RB2 will be decreases, again VE will be decreases, IE will be increases. Further increases. As long as the charge carriers are increasing in the substrate, the resistance RB2 will be decreases. This is happen up to the valley voltage, because at a valley voltage, this region is saturated with a more number of charge carriers. If they further increase the charge carrier, it does not go and accumulate in the base region. At that point, the voltage of this point will be retained at low value. Low value. After that, if further increasing this voltage, if further increasing the voltage, IE will be increases, but the voltage drop, this VE will be very, very lesser. Very, very lesser. This region, nothing but the resistance of this region will be decreases as the emitter current is increases. That region is nothing but a negative resistance region of the UJT that we are going to use to generate a pulse which is given to the SCR. Now we are going to see what are the characteristics. Characteristics of this UJT. Initially, we apply the voltage here, flow the switch. This voltage will be less than the. This is the variable resistance. See the variable resistance. If this voltage is less than the eta point voltage plus voltage drop across the VD, then this junction, will be reverse bias. Only the leakage current is passing. That leakage current we are representing with a small leakage current, negative axis. It further increases, it reaches the positive. This is the point at which the emitter voltage is 0. Why it is going to the positive means the eta point voltage is a difference of this voltage. There is some voltage will be dropping across the diode. That's why this is increasing positive value. At this point, IE current is 0. So this voltage is nothing but a peak voltage. This is nothing but a peak voltage. Corresponding to this current is nothing but a peak current. Now this peak is VB that we represent. Okay. At this point, the junction, this diode will be forward bias. Once the diode is forward bias, it is injecting charge carriers here. When the charge carriers are injecting, this R2 will be decreases. Once the R2 is decreases, the emitter voltage will be decreases. This is happened up to the valley voltage. This corresponding voltage is nothing but this is VV. This is VV, valley voltage. This is the valley current. This point is nothing but a valley voltage. To further increasing the emitter voltage by changing the resistance, small increasing in the current, but the change in emitter voltage is very, very necessary. These are the characteristics of a UJT. This is nothing but this region. If you observe this region, this is the negative resistance region. Negative resistance region. Now we are going to use this to get the base gate voltage to the HCR. Gate voltage to the HCR. So up to this point, UJT in off. From this point to this point, the UJT will be in on because it is allowing a more amount of current, a less amount of voltage. At this point again, UJT will be off. UJT will be off. Now we're going to use this UJT as a oscillator. As a oscillator. Now that we're going to see in the here. This is the circuit diagram for the UJT as an oscillator. As oscillator. This circuit diagram is consisting of variable resistance. This is the R1, the resistance which is connected to the base 1. This is the resistance which is connected to the base 2. Here the capacitor is there. Now charging of this capacitor by we are changing this by a variable resistance. The same voltage here, whatever the voltage with respect to this terminal that is applied to the UJT as well as the RC circuit also. In this RC circuit, R is variable resistance, where the R1 and R2 are the external resistances, which are very, very less when compared to the internal resistances of the UJT. This is the symbolic representation of the UJT. Symbolic representation of the UJT. Now, this is the emitter terminal, this is the B1, this is the B2. Now, whenever we apply the voltage here, this voltage applied to the B1, B2 as well as the capacitor. Now, the capacitor will be charged through the external resistance R. Nothing but from the value voltage, we are assuming that the SL in a use it in a off, use it in a off. From the value voltage, the capacitor will be charged. This is nothing but a VV value voltage. This is the peak voltage. Already we have seen these two in the characteristics of the UJT just now. So from this voltage, the capacitor will be charged through with a time constant of RC, because this is the R. By varying this R, we can change the time constant of this capacitor. So whenever this capacitor voltage reaches the peak voltage, the UJT will be on, because already we apply the positive voltage between the B1 and B2. Once the UJT is on, now this capacitor, see, this is the voltage across the capacitor. Now this capacitor will be discharges through the R2 fastly, because this R2 is very, very lesser. The time constant of this capacitor when it is discharging very lesser, so it will be discharging very fastly. Whenever the capacitor voltage reaches the again value voltage, again the UJT will be off. Once the UJT is off, again the capacitor will be charged to the R. This is charging, discharging, charging, discharging, charging. How this capacitor discharges means already I have shown this one. This is the path in which the capacitor is discharging. R2 is nothing but external resistance, which is very, very lesser. So the time constant to discharge the capacitor is very, very lesser. That's why it is discharging very fast. When it is discharging, this is the area. This is happen when the UJT is on. When this is the nature of the current discharging. So the voltage across this R2O that will be taken from this point. Because it is a resistor load. Again, here we are getting one more pulse. In this manner, we are getting the pulses. Suppose if you want to extend this waveform here, again we are getting one more pulse. And the capacitor is discharging. These pulses, these we are using for the awning of the SCR. In this case, the UJT will be operating as a oscillator, relaxation oscillator. Right? These pulses we are applying between the gate and the cathode of the SCR, so that the SCR will be goes to the on state when it is a forward bias, when it is a forward bias. But here the point here is that when you're going to use this UJT, you're going to use the UJT to generate the gate pulses which we are applying to SCR. These pulses should be the synchronized pulses. Nothing but the UJT has to give the pulse whenever SCR is forward bias with the input voltage. With the input voltage. That's why the operation of the UJT should be synchronizing with a supply voltage. That circuit is nothing but a synchronized UJT triggering circuit. Synchronized UJT triggering circuit that we're going to study in the next class. In this class, just we have studied about what is the structure of the UJT and symbolic representation, equivalent circuit, and what are the different characteristics. What are the characteristics of the UJT? What is the type of which area we are using the UJT to generate the gate pass? Nothing but the negative resistance region we are using to generate the gate pass to the SCR. Nothing but we are using the UJT as a on and off the device, on and off the device that we have studied here. Next, we have studied the UJT as a oscillator. Nothing but it is a one device which is giving a continuous pulses. Continuous pulses. Next class, how we are going to synchronize these pulses to the supply. Then only these pulses are useful to turn on the SCR. Otherwise, the SCR is reverse bias. If the UJT is giving pulses that is going to apply to the SCR, what happens? The SCR will be pulse. To avoid that one, but to synchronize the operation of the UJT with the supply voltage, which is given to the SCR to turn on it. That we're going to see in the next class. Thank you very much for your attention. This is a brief about the UJT unijunction transistor. Next class, we're going to use the UJT as a synchronized UJT triggering circuit for the SCR. This is a more practical circuit what we're using in a practical application. Thank you very much for your attention on the basic power tronic course.